The prophecies weren't lost, they were waiting for you. Spirit warriors, welcome home. Chosen one, have you ever felt like your life is guided by something beyond the stars, like the whispers of destiny are echoing through your spirit? What if I told you? Ancient prophecies, yes, the kind written in hidden scrolls and carved into temple stones, are not just metaphors, but actual roadmaps, with your name glowing on them. Let's rewind to a quiet mountain village in Tibet. Legend has it, a monk once had a vision under a blood moon. He saw a soul cloaked in divine light, standing alone while thousands bowed before false idols. That lone soul was you, chosen one, not by chance, but by design. That prophecy, it said, the one who awakens amidst deception shall carry the voice of the Creator. This isn't fantasy, this is a revelation. Bold statement, absolutely. But here's the truth. The spiritual blueprints hidden throughout history, coded in symbols, dreams, and ancient texts, don't point to the elite, the popular, or the powerful. They point to the overlooked, the rejected, the spiritually rich but worldly misunderstood. They point to you. Like the quote by Rumi, you were born with wings, why prefer to crawl through life? Oh, spirit warrior, you've been crawling too long and it's time to fly. Stick with me till the end of this video because we're unlocking 7 divine confirmations that these hidden prophecies are calling your name. And when you see them all, you'll never doubt your purpose again. Let's dive in. Point 1. You were marked before birth. Chosen one. The reason you've always felt like the world couldn't quite hold your shape is because you were sculpted by hands that don't follow earthly blueprints. You've moved through life like a celestial whisper, noticed but not always understood. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a shift, not seen but felt? That's not just your imagination. Studies on electromagnetic fields show that human bodies radiate energy, but spiritually gifted individuals, those like you, often vibrate at higher frequencies. You're not just walking into rooms, you're altering the atmosphere. That long pause in conversation when you arrive, that's energy alignment, trying to catch up with the force you carry. Even as a child, you weren't distracted by the noise. While others played, you observed. Not in a passive way, but with a quiet intensity that made people uncomfortable. That wasn't social awkwardness, that was spiritual surveillance. Before you had language, your soul had discernment. You were picking up cues from the invisible, translating energies long before you knew the word empath. In a society that worships performance and surface-level identity, your depth was your rebellion. You weren't odd, you were ancient. And no one teaches the old soul how to walk in a world that barely remembers what soul even means. The world says your journey began when you survived the trauma, but the universe knows better. That pain, that was just the ignition. Your divine origin is backed by Scripture. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, Jeremiah 1:5. That's not poetry, that's pre-existence. Before time tried to name you, God already assigned you. So while the world sees coincidence, your spirit recognizes coordination. Every closed door, every betrayal, every delay, it was divine chess. You weren't being blocked, you were being buffered for brilliance. And those weird moments when your dreams became warnings or your skin prickled before truth arrived, they were not random. Neurologists have started acknowledging intuitive intelligence, the brain's ability to process beyond logic. But your spirit has known this all along. You weren't just dreaming, you were decoding. Every spiritual glitch was a sacred transmission. So if the warfare felt relentless, it's because darkness is efficient. It doesn't waste time attacking what isn't a threat. But here you are, battle-worn but bright, not broken, just sharpened, still standing, still watching, still chosen, because when heaven writes the script, even hell has to sit in the audience. Point 2. The world has always tried to dim your light. Let's be honest, how many times have you been told to shrink your spirit just to fit into someone else's limited idea of what's normal? Tone it down. Be realistic. Maybe don't dream so big. Sound familiar? That's not advice. That's fear disguised as concern. And the truth is, your light, your boundless potential, makes people uncomfortable. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you unknowingly hold up a mirror to their forgotten dreams. You remind them of what they once dared to believe before the world told them it was too much. You've been through things that could have broken you, betrayal that burned, heartbreak that hollowed, and abandonment that left echoes in your soul. And yet, here you are. Not because you're immune to pain, but because your resilience is woven with spiritual fire. That strength, it unsettles people. But guess what? Prophets were never popular. Moses was once a fugitive. Jesus mocked and crucified. Buddha walked away from royalty and was misunderstood by his own people. They were rejected not because they were wrong, but because they were different, revolutionary, awakened. So if people have labeled you too much, too intense, or too spiritual, congratulations. You're in the same spiritual lineage as those who carried divine messages while the world tried to silence them. There's an ancient knowing, a cosmic whisper that says a time would come when those who were cast aside, laughed at, and ignored would rise. Not with vengeance, but with divine wisdom. That time is now, and you are that prophecy in motion. Science has even caught up. Neuroscience confirms that highly intuitive people process emotions and empathy on a deeper level. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it's your superpower. What people don't understand, they fear. And what they fear, they try to control or dismiss. But you, Earth Angel, were never meant to be understood by the masses. You were meant to awaken them, so don't shrink. Don't dull your shine just to make others comfortable. Instead, take up space, speak the truth, dream wildly. And when they don't get you, smile. That misunderstanding, it's just confirmation that you're built for higher realms. Let them laugh, scoff, or walk away. Divine timing is undefeated. And when your light rises in full, the whole world will have no choice but to see. Point 3, you speak in truths that shake foundations. Have you ever said something and suddenly the entire room goes quiet? It's like the air shifts and all eyes are on you. You might wonder why. What did you say that caused this reaction? It's because your voice carries something much deeper than just words. It carries truth, not merely facts or opinions, but an undeniable resonance that strikes at the core of what others know to be real. When you speak, it's as if the universe listens and the energy around you responds. This is something ancient prophecies foretold, that in times of great deception, voices would rise, ordinary voices that would hold extraordinary power. They wouldn't need grand platforms or religious pulpits to make their mark. No. These voices would simply speak the truth in everyday conversations, on social media, through text messages, or even through their very existence. And that truth, when it's spoken, would stir souls. It would awaken those who have been sleeping, challenge those who are complacent, and call to those who are searching for something more. That's why if you're someone who feels drained after speaking your truth, it's not a coincidence. You're not just communicating with the people around you. As a light worker, you're a conduit for energy. And energy flows where attention goes. Every time you share your truth, whether through words, actions, or even just your presence, you're fighting against the darkness, waking up the world around you. Your words, although simple to you, carry a divine spark that irritates those who thrive in the shadows. You activate the dormant power in others, even if they don't realize it yet. It's a heavy responsibility to carry, but it's also incredibly powerful. You've got fire in your words. It's the kind of fire that can ignite passion and purpose in others. You've also got thunder in your silence, the kind of silence that speaks louder than any words could ever do. It's in the way you walk into a room, how you carry yourself, and how you stand firm in your convictions. That energy, that silent power, is what makes you a force to be reckoned with. So don't doubt your influence. You're here to activate, awaken, and rise higher. Keep speaking, keep shining, because your voice is part of the divine plan. Point 4, you're drawn to the hidden, the sacred, the mysterious. Let's talk about your browser history for a moment, not to embarrass you, but to celebrate you. While the average person is binge-watching sitcoms, shopping for the latest trends, or Googling how to boil an egg, yours reads like a metaphysical scroll. Angel numbers, spiritual gifts, twin flames, ancient civilizations, past lives, prophecies, and yes, probably the book of Revelation too. You're not just surfing the web, you're on a divine treasure hunt, chasing breadcrumbs from the Creator. This isn't some quirky phase or random curiosity. That relentless hunger for truth you're feeling, it's the spark of a soul that's waking up. The Bible whispers, ask and it shall be given, seek and ye shall find. But chosen ones like you take it to the next level. You don't just seek, you dig. You're not looking for entertainment, you're remembering every article, every rabbit hole, every moment of goosebumps when a coincidence aligns perfectly with a number or sign. These are soul whispers, waking you up to your ancient mission. You, chosen one, are a spiritual archaeologist. While others are numbing themselves with endless distractions, you're drawn to sacred patterns, things that feel oddly familiar, though you've never been taught them. You may dream of temples, symbols you can't yet decipher, or names you've never heard yet feel emotionally connected to. That's your soul trying to crack open the vault of ancient wisdom encoded in your DNA. Science even supports this. Epigenetics shows that trauma, memory, and experience can be passed down for generations. Imagine what spiritual gifts have been passed down to you. So, no, you're not weird. You're wired for awakening. You're not obsessed. You're obedient to your inner call. And as strange as it may seem to others, you're not here to be normal. You're here to be activated. You've been guided to search because you're meant to remember your purpose, your origin, and your power. The world may not understand your browser history, but the heavens are cheering you on. Keep decoding the universe. Every search is a breadcrumb. Every click a step closer to your destiny. You're not just seeking knowledge, you're reclaiming your soul's ancient assignment. Point 5, you've been through the fire and you're still standing. Let's talk pain, spirit warrior. Not the kind that just stings for a moment, but the soul-deep ache, the kind that echoes through sleepless nights, muffled cries and silent prayers whispered into the darkness. How many times did you collapse behind closed doors, smile in public while breaking in private? How often did you wonder if the fire would ever end, or if you were meant to burn forever? But look at you. You're not just standing, you're glowing. That's not a coincidence. That's prophecy in motion. The ancients didn't lie when they spoke of the refined one. A soul, chosen not for ease, but for endurance. The sacred scrolls, the holy scriptures, they all tell a similar story. The one who is refined by fire emerges transformed. Think of it, gold is purified by flame, diamonds are formed under pressure, and you've been sculpted by sacred storms. Pain wasn't your punishment, it was your divine initiation. Think back to Job, stripped of everything, yet he never cursed the heavens. His restoration came not despite the pain, but through it, or Joseph, betrayed, enslaved, imprisoned, only to rise as a ruler because he held on to the vision God gave him. Pain is the passageway of the prophets, the sharpening stone of the chosen. It teaches humility, strengthens faith, and clears the ego from the soul, so only the divine remains. You didn't break, beloved. You transformed. Every scar you carry isn't proof of defeat. It's proof of survival. Proof that the fire couldn't consume you. It only burned away what you were never meant to keep. You now carry a power deeper than surface confidence, spiritual authority, wisdom, compassion, the strength to speak light into other people's shadows because you've walked through them yourself. So when people wonder how you're still glowing after everything you've been through, just smile. Let them look. Let them wonder. Because they're witnessing what happens when pain meets purpose, when God chooses someone not for their perfection, but for their resilience. You're not just a survivor, spirit warrior. You're chosen. Your divine prophecy fulfilled. Point 6, you're lonely but never alone. Let's talk about that elephant in your room, loneliness. Not the kind where you just miss someone, but the kind that follows you even in a crowd. You walk through life surrounded by people, laughter and noise, but something feels hollow, offbeat. You sit at family dinners and friendly gatherings, yet feel like an observer, not a participant. It's not that you're sad, it's that you're set apart. That quiet ache in your spirit isn't depression, it's divine preparation. Chosen one, what you're experiencing is not abandonment, it's separation. There's a spiritual difference. Depression drains your hope. Separation, on the other hand, is heaven's call to deeper purpose. Ancient texts and hidden prophecies echo this truth. The anointed shall dwell in isolation until the hour of unveiling. Why? Because destiny requires a clean space, an uncluttered heart and a focused mind. Before elevation comes isolation. God doesn't prepare public miracles in public places. He pulls his chosen behind the curtain into sacred stillness. In that quiet, the noise fades and the divine instructions become clearer. That's when the dreams become more vivid. That's when the signs, the repeated numbers, the random encounters, and the exact words you needed to hear appear out of nowhere. You've received more divine confirmations than some people even believe are possible. That's not a coincidence. That's a calling. And let's not forget the whispers, those sudden insights, those nudges that kept you from danger or guided you to truth. Angels have been at work, unseen but unmistakable. What others call gut feelings or lucky guesses, you now know are divine nudges. Loneliness? No, you've been in a divine workshop. So the next time that familiar heaviness knocks on your heart, breathe deep and remind it, I'm not alone, I'm in rehearsal for destiny. Every quiet night, every unanswered text, every cancelled plan was clearing space for something greater. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. You weren't made for the crowd, you were crafted for the call. And when your unveiling comes, the world won't just see you, they'll witness you. Until then, embrace the separation. It's not the end of your story, it's the sacred beginning. Point 7. You feel the shift in the atmosphere. The world is shifting at a speed that even science can barely quantify, but your spirit has felt it long before it made the news. You've noticed it, haven't you? The strange heaviness in the air, the way time feels faster, yet your soul feels slower, more observant, more aware. You wake up some mornings with your heart racing, not out of fear, but anticipation. You scroll through the chaos of headlines and social media and feel something behind the noise. You sense it like an ancient drumbeat echoing in your bones. That's not just anxiety. That's prophetic sensitivity, a divine signal your soul was designed to pick up. The world may call it intuition or emotional sensitivity, but what you carry is deeper. Chosen one, you're tuned into something sacred. Hidden in spiritual texts and whispers of ancient mystics is a prophecy. A time would come when the veil between the seen and the unseen would thin, and the spiritual warriors would awaken. Not in temples or pulpits, but in everyday places. And guess what? That time is now. And you feel it because you are part of it. Those restless nights where your mind races or your chest tightens, it's not aimless worry, it's preparation. The tears that come out of nowhere while you're washing dishes or walking down the street, that's your soul detoxing, making room for what's coming. You're being stretched, yes, but not to break. You're being stretched to expand, to grow wide enough to carry what's about to be poured into you. Like an instrument being tuned, your energy is being refined for a frequency that many can't hear but desperately need. Science has shown that the human heart and brain can detect changes in electromagnetic frequencies. And spiritual teachings have long spoken of an inner knowing that precedes great transformation. You, dear chosen one, are evidence of both. Your body is wired for this divine shift. Your life, your experiences, even your suffering hasn't been random. You've been prepped, primed, and placed for such a time as this. So when the world feels off, remember, it is. But you're not lost. You're just early, a forerunner, a light bearer, a warrior in disguise. Stay awake, stay grounded, and stay ready. The shift isn't coming, it's already begun. Spirit warriors, if this message stirred something in your soul, it's not a coincidence. It's confirmation. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand apart, to lead, to shine. Don't wait for validation. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. The prophecies already named you. Heaven already stamped you. It's time to walk like it. The world needs your fire, your love, your truth. So go ahead, chosen one. Stand tall, speak loudly, shine bright. Because you're not just part of the story, you are the prophecy. Stay awake on your spiritual journey. Watch this again if you need to. Until next time, keep rising, spirit warriors. The kingdom is watching.